where the mighty hosts of heaven sing. Turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. If you want to hear the songs of Zion coming from the land of endless spring, get in touch with God. Get in touch with God. Turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. And listen to the music in the air. Turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. Heaven's glory share. Turn the lights down low. Turn the lights down low. And listen to the Master's radio. Get in touch with God. Get in touch with God. Turn your radio on. Listen to the songs of the fathers and mothers and the many friends gone on before. Turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. Some eternal morning we shall meet them over on the Hallelujah shore. Get in touch with God. Get in touch with God. Turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. And listen to the music in the air. Turn your radio on. Heaven's glory share. Turn the lights down low. And listen to the Master's radio. Get in touch with God. Get in touch with God. Turn your radio on.
Hello and welcome to McClendon Studios, Random Thoughts and Observation, or Gindy's Videos. I'm your host, David E. McClendon Sr. And today we're going to talk about, well, really how Suzanne and I eventually got together. We had met in high school, but we weren't high school sweethearts. I made the mistake of being such a goofball that really messed things up. But one day, I had moved to Spartanburg, South Carolina to attend the University of South Carolina, and one day I was sitting in the house that my parents had bought for me, and I was typing letters to my grandmother and to Granny Madden and to a few other people. And Eddie Bledsoe was one of the people that I typed, and I started typing just random letters, and at the end of all that, I responded or said in typing that I found that I could type a whole lot faster if I didn't try to make words as I was typed. Anyway, I finished typing that letter and I sat back and I was listening. There was a song on the radio, a program had come on, a gospel music program called Master Control. It was on WORD radio, and I was sitting there listening to Master Control Sunday morning, so I didn't have classes, and I was on call for the rescue squad and the fire department, so I had my stuff sitting there ready to go in case the tones went off. And I sat there and I kind of wondered, okay, now who else should I write? And then a voice just as clear as a bell said, why don't you write Suzanne? Well, I only knew one Suzanne, and she and I had left things on not the greatest of notes. I thought she hated me. I said, well, she hates me. And the voice said, write her anyway. And I had seen her one time walking from her house to Homeland Park, but I did not know where exactly she lived. I just seen her there. And I said, well, judging from where I saw her, it could be dozens of different routes. It could be Route 1 Star, Route 2 Star, Route 1 Iva. It could be Route 5 Anderson, Route 12 Anderson. It could be a whole gamut of different addresses. How am I going to write to the girl? Anyway, so I heard this voice, like I said, just as clear as a bell. It had to be the Holy Spirit, just as clear as a bell, saying, write her at Route 1 Star. Ferguson will know how to deliver it. Alvin Ferguson was the mail carrier on Route 1 Star, and had been from time began, back before there even was any mail service in Star, South Carolina. I mean, the guy probably knew Ben Franklin when Ben Franklin was the Postmaster General. But anyway, Alvin Ferguson knew everyone, and he knew where everyone lived. He knew all the children in the household, all the family members. He knew everybody. And so I said, okay, well, I'll do that. Well, I wrote Suzanne a letter and sent it to just one place, Route 1 Star. Well, lo and behold, she got it. And so I wrote her back and forth. And for a couple of weeks we had written, and then a few weeks later I went down to visit at McDuffie Street Church of God for the evening service, which happened to be where she went, was attending that night. And so she and I talked on the way to the church bus. And she got on the church bus, and I invited her to ride with me back to her house, and of course she turned me down, and which was probably a good thing because her parents, especially her mother, would have thought something was terrible for this boy that had not picked her up to bring her home from church. Anyway, and so she and I stayed there talking. She leaned out the window of the bus and was talking to me until the bus got ready to pull off. Roger, my friend, had in the meantime had gone around to get my car. Now all my friends had keys to the car. He'd gone around to get the car, and he came in and pulled it around in front of the bus. And everybody thought I went and got into a Dodge 024, which wasn't true because my car was Bird 2, which was a 1979 Mercury Capri. And I went and got in, Roger drove, and we started discussing Suzanne. Anyway, that evening I went back to Spartanburg, and Suzanne and I conversed a few more times via letter. And then it came that I was going to be able to go home at another weekend. So I wrote her, and in the letter I wrote, about the time you get this, I'll be driving down your driveway, which turned out to be literally true. She had already given me directions to her house and had not described it. So I came down to visit her, and I see this one driveway that's this private drive, private property, and has pictures of guns and skulls and crossbones hand painted. I'm like, I ain't going down that driveway. Eddie Bledsoe, our youth minister, lived not too far from there, and so I drove over to his house to ask him, did he know where Suzanne Gunter lived? And he said, well, she must be one of Jim's girls. I said, well, I don't know what her daddy's name is. He kept saying, well, she must be one of Jimmy's girls, and lives right over here. And I said, well, the house with the private drive with all those signs? He said, yeah, just go and drive down it. And I said, I can't do that, I'll get shot. And he said, just go ahead and drive down it. So I waited a little bit longer talking and putting it off, and then I went. Well, had I gone when I had originally started to, I would have been home at Suzanne's house before Suzanne was home. Well, anyway, she got the letter, and she wouldn't have gotten the letter yet. She got the letter, and the first thing she needed to do, she thought, well, I need to wash my hair. So she went straight to the house and was going to wash her hair. Well, her little sister decided that she needed to wash her hair before Suzanne did. So when I pulled up in the yard, there was Suzanne's two brothers and Cousin It standing out in the yard. Cousin It had hair in front of its face and in back, and all around Cousin It was just one big blob of hair, like Cousin It on the Addams Family. Anyway, so I pulled up and I started talking. I said, does Suzanne Gunter live here? And they said yes, and they introduced themselves as Ray and Robert. And come to find out that Cousin It was their sister Carol Lee. Well, I didn't know that, but all I knew was there was somebody standing there with hair all over, down front, down the side, down the back. And eventually Suzanne came out and had just washed her hair, and it was still a little wet, and combed it out. Then later, her mother let us go to M night over at Middleton Road Baptist Church, which was the very first time we went out. And then later we started dating, and we broke up for a little while, and then we got back together, and of course the rest is history. We got married on November 3rd, 1984. Her Uncle Bobby was the preacher, and everything was great. Master Control was a great station, and what was very interesting is now, just recently, we discovered that we liked the Statesman Quartet. Well, guess what? One of the, on the intros and outros of Master Control, the ID slug had the Statesman singing, listen to your radio, or excuse me, turn your radio on. And turn your radio on, and anyway, and that's, something that's really amazing, that what seems like 100 years later, but years later, that we discover these group of men that really can sing, that had been a part of our lives and we didn't know it. There were other times in our lives that we had been together and did not know it. We were at the Blue Angels performance one time out at the Anderson Airport together at the same time and did not know it. Had probably attended several different movies at the same time and did not know it. Well, we'll see you again next time. This particular video, the story is broken up, written in 3 different parts. It's a little more complex than what I told you on the video, but watch it. Give us some comments on what you see, what you hear. Comment down below. See our books in the sidebar. Help us out, and we'll be seeing you next time. This is a Federal Trade Commission required notice. When you click on an advertisement that is displayed with this video, or just before it, we receive a small commission. Sometimes, if you merely watch an ad, we receive commission. If you purchase anything by clicking on links on any of our websites, we receive a commission as well. McClendon Studios is a participant in the Amazon Services LLC Associates Program, an affiliate advertising program designed to provide a means for sites to earn advertising fees by advertising and linking to Amazon.
We have a new book. Many people want to know if homeschooling will work for them. This book may help you answer that question. You can find it on Amazon.com. Suzanne has written a great book of poetry. It is called Shattered. You can find it on Amazon.com.
We also offer you the book How to Pay Off Your Debt. Buy it on Amazon.com.